background around here, but apparently, Jaguar Wright said that it was going around saying that Eminem, the point came up, who a better MC, Eminem or Kendrick Lamar? She went to Kendrick Lamar on a podcast. She been saying this about 2 weeks ago. She said on Rebel Life, whatever the channel is, Charleston White be on there, and she said because Proof Wright Eminem raps, that's why he better than Kendrick Lamar. And I want to say something real quick. You hear it's a large amount of people who try to talk about hip hop and try to say who better than who, and be like, well, I never listened to Kendrick Lamar. Y'all heard somebody say, well, Cameron Drink Champ interview, she said a girl picked Jay over Nas because Nas used too many big words, right? And these are the same people that will sit here and say and tell you what real hip hop is, what real rap is, what the culture is, what rapper better than this rapper, what, like, you can't even sit at the table if you're not listening to the top artists in all genres, the sub-genres under rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got conscious rap, not that much of that going on anymore. You have, even in the females rap, you have ratchet rap. Used to have conscious rap. It's kind of more underground rhapsody now. Empowering, kind of like Lauryn Hill. But you got gangster rap, trap rap. You know what I'm saying? You got even gospel rap now. You know what I'm saying? You got even southern rap. A lot of them have their own swing. So I find it funny where people will argue up and down and they never listen. This is why I don't debate with people. For me to sit down and have a conversation with somebody and talk about stuff like this, like, you got to show me you got knowledge. Most of these people y'all arguing, they never bought an album, never had a physical album, they never streamed the full album. None of that. Right? But I digress. Have I heard those rumors in Detroit? No. I live in Detroit, now I live outside Detroit, but it's in the metropolitan area. That's here nor there. But that really wasn't my era, bro. Like, as far as, like, when Eminem was coming up in the 90s, yes, I was old enough to remember the Slim Shady LP. My favorite album was Eminem Show. But as far as his rise in Detroit, like, most of the artists that we grew up on, Detroit artists, they were, like, he has no influence. I keep telling y'all that. Y'all hear guys like Skilla Baby, he way younger than me. But you hear guys like that say he had no influence. Those are not when you hear Detroit rap, you don't hear Eminem. Really, you don't hear Big Sean. Don't have, it's really not influenced by the same rap that Peasy, Skilla, Sada, Payroll, Giovanni, Babyface Ray. They not. It'd have to be a whole longer video stream for me to explain the true essence of Detroit rap. But at that time, you had like Drunken Master, artists like that, because you had 50 Players Deep. That was a big song. Even MC Breed probably had more influence throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s than Eminem did. But like I said before, I was more into the Cheddar Boys, Street Lord Cheddar Boys, Rock Bottom, people like that. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Stretch Money and those type of guys. Those was, Platinum Rollies on TikTok. I mean, that was one of the first real street Detroit albums I got into. I stole it from my cousin. I used to steal all my albums from my cousins. My cousin, he had a Gucci Man, Back to the Trap House, his first album. He took that one back door. He used to come back and steal this shit back door, ask for it back. I'm like, man, fuck on. I used to give it to him because he could whoop my ass, but nonetheless. But I still all his shit, dog. But for real, she said Proof, and I could believe it because you had a lot of the people start speaking out about Eminem, saying basically that how he portrayed the 8 Mile, like he was eating people up at the battle, that the real portion of 8 Mile where he was too nervous to battle, that is who Eminem was. That is who Eminem was. He was too nervous to battle. He never really battled anybody he never really battled anybody for real. And then he did battle people, and they did battle people, they never allowed them to respond. And if you want me to point you to those interviews, I can. So yeah, can I believe it? Yeah, Auntie Jaguar some people don't believe her, some people do believe her. She seemed like to be right about a lot of the stuff that was alleged about Puff. I mean, so be it. But she had an interesting point at the end of this particular podcast where she said Eminem ain't had a great album since Proof passed. And you heard members of D12 saying that basically he was removing verses from that Purple Hills album, which was a good album, by the way. My other cousin had it. But he wasn't even from Detroit though. But that was a great album, and it was a good album. And they basically was saying, members of that was saying that he was removing verses from the Purple Hills album, better verses, and removing verses that he thought was better than his. So, can I find it to be true that Proof wrote for Eminem? Yeah, I mean, what's so crazy is, you never really see the pen behind the artist get on. You know what I'm saying? And the reason for that, like the pen never behind the artist get on, because a lot of times the pen is not willing to sell their ass and sell their soul to get on. So they really play the background. Look at that I Vegas interview. That's the one that interviews I always point to people, tell people how you get blessed into the injury. A lot of these successful rappers that you think is so gangster, a lot of them then sold their soul and sold their asshole to get on. So a lot of times when you see a guy like Quentin Miller, Ali Vegas, when you see a guy like Proof that really can't get on like that, a lot of times they wouldn't sell their soul. Now, could it be that a Drake is trying to hold them back or Eminem is trying to hold them back? A lot of times, even before they meet them guys, they can't get in the industry because they won't sell their soul. And maybe sometimes they don't have the connections. And when they get the connections and it's time to get on, they like, no. Don't forget, Soulja Boy did an interview talking about his boy A-Rab, the guy that used to be with him, and how the dude from Interscope, I forget his name, Jimmy Iovine, had I think a $1 or $2 million deal for him to sign, and A-Rab said no, he ain't want to sign the deal. Guess what? It wasn't right. You already know he probably made him come in there and come to his house and sign that deal and all that, and he was like, nah, I ain't willing to do that. So that's why when people say, well, why you ain't get on this self? That's why a lot of these dudes ain't willing to sell their asshole, sell their soul. So can I believe it what she's saying? Absolutely, because really since the Eminem show was the last album I thought was dope. Real talk. So they always stealing our stuff and putting their face on it. Did y'all remember the five heartbeats? If you watch that movie, remember they had a white group on their album cover so it could sell more, and they got mad. That's a real thing. So I can't say I have knowledge or proof doing so, but I can understand that. And probably holding him back not to get on, paying him and not to get on. So at the end of the day, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me one bit. It doesn't surprise me one bit. So Quentin Miller and Ali Vegas was rumored to write for Nas. That was a rumor that was going out there. Both of them. Quentin Miller put that out himself. Ali Vegas is just a strong rumor that been out there. So with him, it don't matter. He got immunity. He white. Especially in rap. We protect more white artists than anything. Y'all knew Megan Good dated Disaster, the battle rapper. What's be funny to me is when, a lot of white people come to the hood and act scared. Nobody gonna do nothing to you. That's like having a badge in the hood. Nobody gonna touch no white person in the hood. It's gonna make the block hot. So they get white people immunity in the black community. We harder on each other than we are on the outsiders. Why do you think people continue to still go interview on Vlad TV? Why do you think people still going on Adam show, even though Adam is like mad wild, he mad racist, all that type of stuff, bro, and people still use his clips. People still, shout out to the black people that use and make money off of them. You gotta make money somehow. But people still going on that show. That's why I say, man, I don't really be tripping on some of these stuff, because they'd be harder on their own people in this community than they are on their other, man. And that's just real spill. That's just real spill, man. So, I mean, it is what it is. If it's true, it's true. It's between Proof, Eminem, and whoever else who know and God. So even if it came out that Eminem had racist tapes with his voice on there, black women ain't shit. You know, white women is better. Black women say, we forgive him. He apologized for it. Oh, he had a black girl break his heart, and his family came out and said he never dated no black girl. They don't care, bro. They don't care. So anything you bring about somebody that's popular in the game, like they got a lot of venture off of Jay-Z. You know, Eminem could do the same thing to black people that Jay-Z did, and a lot of people would be like, you know what I'm saying, they give him a pass. They give Eminem a pass for being racist. It is what it is. So I would just stop. I would say, no matter how much, got Eminem fans here, oh, you're lying, she's a crackhead, she's this, that, and the third. Hey, I didn't deny nor or say what she co-signed what she said is true. I can see it. I know how the industry goes. So that's between, him and God. And I just hope if that's true that he took care of proof. She said she seen proof right for him. I could believe it. 2006, Eminem Show's the last album I listened to, so that had to be, 2002, 3. So yeah, I can believe that Proof passed away in 2006. So I can believe it. I can believe Eminem music. Ever since the Eminem Show, anything he dropped musically as an album wise, that shit was ass from what I heard. Somebody's like, listen to Rap God. I'm like, get this shit out of my headphones so I can finish my workout. That shit was trash. But, people can say what they want to say. I grew up in the real Detroit rap era. You know what I'm saying? The real era. Big Hurt, Rock Bottom, Eastside Cheddar Boys, R.I.P. to Wipeout, Blade Icewood, Street Lord Cheddar Boys, R.I.P. to Blade. I remember when he passed that shit. I remember he got shot. He passed. I'm lived through all that. Stretch Money. All these young guys that's coming up, guys that look like they was gonna make it, and they didn't make it. But all the young guys, we listened to them from the beginning. Peasy, Payroll, Doughboy Cash Out, HBK, rest in peace to Rock. So I've been listening to it. Lived in the neighborhood with them Band Gang Ninjas, bro. I don't know too much about their music. My brother listened to them. But yeah, I've been I live in the same neighborhood they did. So a lot of these dudes you see at Rue Crash, you see them at Bar 7, they be in the trenches. So, like I said before, I listen to a lot of these dudes, man. So I understand Detroit rap and his influence over Detroit rap. There is none. The language, the swag, he not opened too many doors for D12. Look how he did Stat Quo. They had a difference of opinion on Stat Quo album. Kicked them off the label. It got re-released on I think Atlantic Records ended up releasing Stat Atlanta. Really, how far did Royce da 5'9" really go? He did help out Griselda, but we talking about Detroit people. Who did he really help out and get to that next level and be a star up under his wing? He pushed Curtis, and that's cool. Cause D12, they had the In the Club beat, didn't know what to do with it, and it ended up in Curtis' hands, 50 Cent. So who did he really on Detroit put on a pedestal to be a star? A lot of them dudes that was with him, Obi Trice, flopped. He out here banging hood rats and shit. So, it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video. Check out the music entertainment playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts. Check out the Patreon. I appreciate y'all for blessing me with y'all presence today. Peace.